Twitch, and where else? Twitter right now. Rumble I didn't do because I have to do that manually, and I got to get the Facebook going too, but not tonight. No, but you're sounding great.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you're sounding great over here too. I got you right, almost like at 20 over, sounding really, really good.
Yeah, I I worked on it a lot this morning because it's only like 3 days old in Pro Tools. But there's this Waves plugin called the C6, which is a 6-band multi-band compressor, and there's also like a parametric. There's like a 2-band parametric EQ built in. So this is like the DEQ of my DAW. And I think that's where all the magic happens. But I'm happy with it.
Oh yeah, it sounds great. It sounds just as good as it ever did. And the other day, when you was live streaming, I was watching you. You pulled up the Aphex Big Bottom. When I used to run Pro Tools, they didn't have that then. How long's that been available?
So let's see. I remember I bought it about a year and a half ago. And then I forgot why, but I couldn't run it. Well, maybe I couldn't run it because I was running Logic Pro then. It only works inside Pro Tools. But it's great. I also have the Aphex Exciter, and I have the Aphex Vintage Exciter plugin. I use the Vintage Exciter plugin, but I use the regular Big Bottom.
Nice, nice. What's the difference between the Vintage and the up-to-date one? Is it just older, softer bass, or can you tell me the difference?
Say that one more time, Jeff. My son interrupted you. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Here, I'll give you a little bit more. But I said, can you tell a difference between the Vintage and the new? What's the difference between the Aphex? Is it the old? Is the older sound like it's more of the old smooth tube type, or is there a difference at all that you can tell?
Well, I don't know if there's an audible difference. I just know that the Vintage is easier to use. Yeah, I'll put it up on the screen right now. Hold on. Let's see. So that's the Vintage. If you have YouTube on, I don't know if you have it on. Just mute the volume if you do. And that's it. It's just got an input, an output, and the effect. So and I'm running very little of it. Very, very little effect. Let me just see. There we go. Yeah. Very little high-end effect, just a touch, because I'm EQ'd pretty aggressively on the high end anyway.
Me and Dwayne was messing around the other day, and we would turn off our Aphex, our Big Bottom, after running a 2496, and you can just enough, barely tell just enough that it changes with the Big Bottom on. So I guess we're heavy EQ'd in a 2496 to where the Big Bottom gives it that little touch that it's supposed to, but it's not making a world of difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't even know if this Big Bottom is, because again, I'm not aggressive on it at all. Let's see. Let me take it out of line. So here it is in line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. Ah, crap. Here it is in line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here it is bypassed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you notice any difference?
Yes, you do. Just about like ours. It just gives it that little bit of bass in the bottom, and it did touch up your treble just a little bit too, and toned it down just a hair.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's working. Where do I have this set? I've got the frequency at 62 hertz, and I have the mix. Hold on. Let me put it up here. I have the mix at around 1:30, maybe 1 o'clock. So yeah, just a touch.
Well, I'll tell you what, it sounds really, really, really good. You don't have to worry about RF either too much. That should play very well.
Yeah, and I ran like this forever. I ran like this over a year. When I had the Sun SDR, and I was processing everything, and I'm going to tell you what I might try because I'm sick. But I was processing everything on an iMac, and man, it was flawless. It was like a professional recording studio in Logic Pro. But what I was thinking of doing, and the whole reason I went back to PC was because of the Anon. But what I could do, because I have this iMac sitting here, I could process all the audio in the iMac and then send it out of that iMac's audio interface and go into an input on my Behringer X Air, and then that'll be hooked up to the PC. So I could run the audio on a Mac and the radio on the PC.
Wonder if you would get any conflict between the two, but you shouldn't because it's coming out of the X Air. It should work fine.
Yeah, it should actually work perfectly. No latency, none of that. Because it said I would just be the Mac would be an input in the X Air, and then I would just run everything off the X Air like I would do on the PC. And but I've got this Pro Tools working really. Carter, come in here. I'm live on YouTube, bro. What do you need help with?
I want to know if you put this on after you bring it up.
Yes, I did put it on.
Why?
Because I downloaded YouTube. You need me to adjust it for you?
No, I know how to do it. Just that I was asking.
Yep. Say hi to my friend Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
I'm good.
Say, tell him what you're playing with.
What?
Tell him what you're playing with.
I'm playing with I forgot what it's called.
Your VR, your MetaQuest.
My MetaQuest.
Nice. Did you get it for Christmas?
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice.
Say, have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right, you good?
Yeah.
All right. I'll be out in, I don't know, like 20 minutes, Carter, okay? Sorry about that, Jeff. Yeah, he's got this MetaQuest VR headset. The thing is sick. But I was playing with it, and he came in here and said, did I adjust the head strap? Because it was too big for his head.
Yeah, man, them new devices, there's something, you know. It's compared to what we had when we was younger till now. It's like, no, not even no comparison.
So, my wife's cousin, he saw on Facebook that Carter got the MetaQuest, and this guy's like my age. He's in his early 40s, I think. So he messages me last night. He said he's like, basically he's a VR enthusiast, and he's on it every day. And he told me this game I needed to download called Echo. So I downloaded it today, and you are on. It's 4 versus 4. You're in zero gravity on a ship, on like a spaceship, and there's an arena inside the ship. It felt so much like I was floating in zero gravity that I got nauseous. and so then I just gave it to my son and let him finish. I could only play it for about 15 minutes. It is so lifelike. And then when I was charging it for him, I put it back on, and I downloaded the YouTube app on it. And when you go to watch a YouTube video, it's like you're sitting at in a multiplex movie theater in stadium seating, and the YouTube video is on the big screen. And you can look around to your left and your right and behind you, and it's like you're in a movie theater, but you're watching a ham radio video.
Nice. Could you imagine wearing that, listening to everybody's audio on the ham radio?
Well, I technically can put it on and have Thetis in front of me.
That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like you just sit back in it. So if I was going to do that, I'd have to get a headset monitor. What do you call it? Mic. Then you could just lean back in the chair with your feet up.
Oh, man. That would be something.
Whiskey 3 Delta Echo Papa.
Ah, there he is, sounding great.
Okay, 1WIL.
Oh boy, hold on. It's a little chilly out there still, Bill. Put the shirt back on.
Hello, Dwayne. Hello, Bill.
Doing this fine evening.
Well, we just came home from the wonderful Red Lobster. I had the sirloin and the lobster tail and crunchy Brussels sprouts. And my wife had the coconut shrimp. And now we're playing a little radio, Bill.
Oh, there you go. Well, you better dial in too, Doug. It sounded really good right there.
Yep. After I left you this morning. Well, if that was maybe that was yesterday. I don't even know what day it is when I don't go to work. I really zeroed in this multi-band compressor in the plug-in, and I think this is it.
Yeah, it sounded real good. Real nice and smooth.
Smooth like silk, like a spider spinning a web.
I heard Dwayne in there. He sounded pretty healthy there. Good. He sounds real good.
Hello there, Doug. Hello, Bill.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad at all.
Wow, you, Dwayne, you and Jetman, you guys really zeroed in those DEQs beautifully. They sound great.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we kind of tweaked it a little bit there, so it's working pretty good. Yeah, so I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to let it ride.
Yep, that's what I always say, but then I rip everything apart. I think I get bored. I'm like, oh, what's left to do? Just talk on the radio? No, I gotta redo the audio.
I can make that sound better at one piece. I know I can.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. And then you get in the weeds, and you have about 8 pieces of rack gear here that you don't need anymore, and no one wants to buy it.
I'm down to 3. I'm going to stay at 3. That's it. 3, and I'm done.
Reaching for that next plateau, I guess. But I think sometimes we hit it and don't even realize it.
Yeah, and you know, Chris in the chat said it the best. Like, I can't tell an audible difference between running a multi-band compressor and the CFC audio tool compressor in Thetis compared to this Optimod that I have sitting here. So, you know, with the software now, you could get a scope might see the difference, but the human ear can't.
Yeah, with today's DAW, you know, when I used to do back in the day, they didn't have a quite refined end like they do nowadays. So, you know, big difference nowadays.
Oh yeah, and I got this thing working on the PC, which is crazy, because I never had luck with DAWs on the PC, but so far so good. And I don't have to use Voice Meter Banana or any of that. This Apollo interface has enough in and out channels virtually that all I need is that.
Yeah, I think your interface is the big deal right now. Getting the audio, you know what I'm saying? So I bought the voice channel. You know, it's a piece of equipment. It's pretty nice if you really take a good look at it. And it has you know, I can do the DAW through that. You know, I got 2 microphones now, so
Check.
I never played with the DAW in it yet, but so I got Pro Tools here, and I got Personas. I got Cakewalk, and so I got a few that I can you know, dive into to see how it'll work out. But I don't know. What's the way to say?
So here's what. So the audio in this UAD Apollo, and if you're ever interested in one, if you're going to run it on PC, you have to buy the Apollo Twin USB, because all the other ones are Thunderbolt 3. And even if you have a Thunderbolt 3 motherboard, it does not run well on a PC. So you have to get the USB, and then you use USB 3.0, and it'll only work on 3.0. So you got to have a 3.0 jack on the motherboard. But what's so cool about it And so I have one. You you have to, when you first set it up and you go into their console software, you have to choose a preamp. It's called a unison preamp. And right now I'm using, and you could Google it. I know nothing about it. I just like the way it sounded. I'm using the Victor 76. That is a what do you call it? That is a vintage preamp, and there's a load of other ones, and all that changes the structure of the actual preamp in the audio interface to what they say matches this vintage preamp, where AI technology cannot differentiate between the actual hardware and the physical and the software inside the audio interface. You then have four other slots to add four other plugins that are all processed inside the interface. I don't do that though. I only add the preamp, and then I send that preamp signal into Pro Tools, and then I use all my different plugins that I want to use. But for example, there's a Pultec EQ in here where the actual EQ, if you were to buy it on Reverb, is about $12,000. And this plugin that's built in to the audio interface is allegedly supposed to emulate it identically. Over?
Yeah, roger that. Well, it sounds like it's a good setup. Now, on your VSTs, can you, how do they accept the VSTs? Will they accept VSTs written by third parties?
So the software that comes with the interface, it's called Console. You can only run UAD plugins. So you can only run the plugins that UAD makes, which are all these vintage emulators of real gear. So I'm not running any plugins from UAD except the preamp plugin, that the V76, which I'm going to look up in a minute. I'm sure it was used in loads of recording studios for big albums, because it seems like all their preamps, Bon Jovi or Guns N' Roses or Metallica use this preamp, and so UAD goes out and builds it digitally. Then I can use so then I send that signal into Pro Tools, and then in Pro Tools I can use any VST I want. Pro Tools will pretty much accept anything.
Yeah, back when I used to run my Pro Tools, and Personas is pretty much the same, but Pro Tools, they'll accept more VSTs. And I found a multi-band compressor that I downloaded, and boy, that thing it's excellent. I can't think of the name of it right now. I'd have to get back and go into some of my old files I haven't saved. But that's the best one I found, and boy, it sets up nice. I mean, you can get a lot of compression and multi-band and stuff like that. So it's a good VST, and it was a free. I couldn't believe it.
So I'm running. I bought it. It was like $20. I bought it from Waves Audio. It's called the C6 Charlie 6. That's the multi-band, and that's what I was playing with a lot this morning, and I zeroed it in. So if you have my YouTube up, I just put an image up of this V76 preamp. This is what the actual preamp looked like. And this is the plugin that I'm running. And God knows what year it was made, but like the gain control, you needed a flathead screwdriver to adjust it. And what you do now in here, I'll pull up the real plugin. Where is it? Hold on. Yeah, so this is the real plugin, and it emulates the vintage gear. It's allegedly identical.
Yeah, that's what makes it nice, because they can emulate that on VSTs and stuff like that. So, hey, I got to step out for a minute. I'll be back here shortly. So, go ahead, guys, pick it up. Kilo 1 Whiskey India Lima.
All right, Bill. I'll be here for like 20 minutes. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, okay. Hey, Dwayne, how you been today? Okay.
Oh no, I might have bored him.
Well, he was in there. I don't know where he went. He might have stepped out there for a minute.
Wow, you're like 25 over now.
Oh yeah, I'm not really even tuned. I'm only doing about 800.
Well, we got a good path. You're booming in. Absolutely booming in. What am I doing now? I'm doing just about 1100.
Hey, the audio isn't too strong, is it? It don't need turned down, does it?
No, not at all. But I also like it that way. It's very punchy, but it's not, the gain is not overdone. Is your mic meter breaching 0 or just staying below it?
The mic meter, it stays right at -1, 0, -1. So it's really close.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Mine, like right now, 1, 2, 1, 5. Like I might even touch +1, but that's fine. I'd rather do that. Everything drives better, and then the CFC Audio Tools works good as long as you're near 0.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. Like my CFC, it once in a while it shoots up real high, but most of the time it hangs around 0. But it'll shoot a past, and that's normal. And then the CFC compression runs about 5 to 7.
Yep, that's what I read is the sweet spot. That's where mine is. So boom, boom. Yep, 6, 4 to 6, right around there. So yeah, you get enough power in and enough signal in. Yeah, it's all working.
I made it back
you get a lot of compliments
3D.
a lot of times.
Oh yeah. What's up, Dwayne? Dwayne's back.
Yeah, I went to go get some green tea, and Doug, you would never bore me when it comes to talking audio. I love that stuff.
I know, but we just didn't know where you went. So glad you're back.
Well, while you was in the conversation with Bill, I sent a text to Jeff to say I'm getting green tea, but he never responded. So I figured I'd just step away in the kitchen's button up against this room here so I can hear everything.
All right, good. Yeah, I had my son grab me my Sprite, so I am good to go.
I dabbled a little bit with Cakewalk before, and I'm going to probably do it again and play around with it. A friend of mine, he's working with it right now and trying different plugins and VST, so I am going to just give it a go and see how it works out.
It's fun. It's fun. And if you're going to be doing Cakewalk stuff, definitely give K1 GMM a view on YouTube. He's like the Cakewalk master.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think I've seen some of his videos that helped me get going with that.
Yeah, it's he's the one that got me into ESSB. I came across his YouTube page. I was probably transmitting again for about 6 months. I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool stuff, and I got the bug.
My computer here has the Type-C. I wonder if there's a program you can run and don't need an interface box. Just come out of my rack gear and have a Type-C plug on it, go in there and have something that would emulate that and be able to go to Cakewalk through that without even having an interface box.
Well, if you're going to use Cakewalk, you would be replacing the rack gear with Cakewalk. So you would just need to get your microphone into Cakewalk, which would be done with an audio interface. Am I understanding what you just said?
Yeah. I didn't mean to use the rack gear. I was talking about my mic. Coming out of my mic with a cable that has the Type-C that would plug directly into my computer. But just like Cakewalk with all the plugins, I wonder if there's a plugin that would allow that to feed through to Cakewalk. I don't know if I can go to Cakewalk directly from my mic to the computer without using no interface box at all.
Oh, okay. So wait, your microphone has a USB connection on it. Is that what you're saying?
No. No, maybe I'll explain a little bit better. I'll come out of my mic with the XLR cable, but on the other end of the cable has a Type-C plug, and my computer has a built-in Type-C plug, and I could plug that in there and see if I can feed it through Cakewalk using my computer as the interface box.
No, I don't think that'll work. You need to excite the microphone first with a preamp, and the preamp is going to be the audio interface.
Okay, and wonder if there's like a program out there on the computer that would pick up that and be the drive for the mic and then go into the Cakewalk.
I don't know. That's very interesting. Well, there are definitely preamp plugins, but I don't know. I feel like you're going to need an audio interface. Now, you have the Aphex. Do you have the 230?
No, I just have the Royal Exciter Aphex.
Oh, okay. Because I think the 230, the Voice Master, no, I feel like it had a digital output. I don't remember though. No, yeah, I think you're gonna need an audio interface. Like the M Audio is a good one. They're like $100. That's all you need. I like the M Audio. I used the M Audio with Cakewalk when I first started doing this before I went to like Logic Pro and Pro Tools. You do not stream, right, on YouTube, so you'll have nothing to worry about. The problem comes if you want to route your audio to multiple pieces of software. That's where Windows starts to crap out. But you would just be sending VAC between Cakewalk and Thetis, so you'd be fine. But if you were also sending to OBS or another piece of software, that's when it runs into hiccups.
Yeah, I won't be doing that. I won't be doing any live streaming or anything like that at all. It'd just be for the DAW. I posted up a picture there of my rack gear that I currently use.
Hey, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Check your like your SWRs and stuff. Sounds like you're getting a little bit of RF.
Let's see. Yeah, it is reading. No, it should be fine.
Well, it was right there. It didn't do it at all. What was that sound, Doug? Did you hear that?
About a 1.3.
Yeah, hold on. So I heard it. His signal just dropped on me. Not like he's 5 over, 10 over. But when he was 20 over, I heard it a little bit, and I was looking on the waterfall. I didn't know if he might have been over driving. I'm not sure.
Yeah, check your ALC. Whatever it was very minute, but it was in there. Oh, hey, Doug, the 230 does have a digital out.
Yes, I don't know. I'm assuming it acts as an audio interface. You could get audio into a computer that way.
No, I've never tried it, but I own one and I've seen it on the back before. It takes like a round plug with one flat side and 4 or 5 pins, correct?
Yeah, I think that's an optical cable, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I used to use them with home theater. Actually, I slip my TV now. My sound bar goes in optical into the TV.
Nice.
Did you get that fixed away? Yeah, I checked the ALC. It's fine.
Well, if you want to hear it, I would say go to the 20-minute mark when we started, which is probably when we started talking about your microphone getting it into the PC, because we're at 29 minutes right now. So I would go to 20 minutes and you'll be able to hear it there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm already driving it right now at about 75 to 80.
You hear it? I hear it.
It'll take a lot more.
I think it was just there again. Did you hear it, Jeff?
Yes, sir, I did.
I don't think it's RF. I really don't. I it it might be a gain thing. It's so crazy. I have no idea, but I hear it, and it's probably similar to what I had, but it might just be gain structure.
Yeah, and
I can't really
didn't
tell
touch
you.
anything at all. That's the weird thing about it.
It's like a little whoop, 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 whoop in the back. And I don't know what it is. Just listen to it real quick on the live, and then you'll know, because I can't explain it. And it only does it once in a while, so I don't know. I can't explain it.
All right, I dropped my power level way back. Is it doing it right there? So we can see if it's the amp or not.
Well, it's not doing it now.
It sounds like it's in the 125 frequency range to me.
You think it's that low, Bill? I thought it was probably like into thousands somewhere.
Well, I'm watching on the baseline side, and it seems that when he's talking and it does that, I see that bump right in that area. So it looks up, see when he's talking. Look on your spectrum, see when it bounces, when you hear that sound.
All right, yeah, let me look that way. Go ahead, Dwayne.
All right, yeah, I haven't touched anything yet. Let me know if it's still doing it. That's weird because I haven't touched anything at all.
Turn the amp back up. I want to see if you could like really reproduce it.
It was in red there for a minute. I don't know why. And now the pure signal's working. It might be. You know what? Let me restart Theos. You know how that can be.
Yep, it happened to me the other night. Give it a restart. Come back here in two-tone here.
Because it was perfect just the other day, and he hadn't been on his radio, so it had to be something just crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was talking to Chris this afternoon because he was the only one I could hear. 40 was horrible. And he told me he blew up 2 DEQs that he's not sure, but he thinks it was RF that destroyed the processor. And like mine was working fine. And then all of a sudden it just stopped working right. So I'm wondering how susceptible these things are to RF. And Chris said to me, he said his shack was a mess when he ran that thing. And that's how mine is. So maybe I friggin' fried mine and they could be susceptible. I don't know.
Well, I know I got beads all over mine and everything, so hopefully I don't ever get no RF.
All right, let's try this. Did that correct anything?
Give me let's talk a little bit longer.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3, Whiskey 3, Delta Echo Papa. I haven't changed the thing at all. Currently doing about 880 watts. And is it still in there?
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, I'm seeing that spike at like 80 to 100, Bill. I am seeing that.
Yeah, try to take down your 80 to 100, Dwayne, a little bit.
All right, I'm on 80. I'm slowly bringing it down to the PEQ. Is it still in there?
Yeah, it's still in there.
All right, I'm going to bring it way down. I'm on 80. Is it still there? Testing 1, 2, 3. Whiskey 3, Delta Echo Papa.
I think it's gone, right, Bill?
Maybe go up, bump it up a little bit. The next one maybe around 100 or something.
All right, I took 100 and backed it down a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is that really still in there? That'll be a 3DP for testing.
Still a little weak bit. It's not like Michael was. Might go up here to 125 and maybe do that a little bit there. Maybe see.
How about that right there? Testing 1, 2, 3.
I didn't hear it that time.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either.
All right, Whiskey 3, Delta Echo Papa, doing a small adjustment right there, testing 1, 2, 3. Does that sound a lot better?
That was.
Yeah, that sounded good, and you almost hit me 20 over that time. So it was loud, and I didn't hear it.
You could put the 50 or back a little bit back in it or something, and just leave that last one down. It did sound a little better with the other ones up a little bit if you don't bring it back, I think.
All right, I made a small adjustment, trying to get a little bit the bottom end back in it. Is it still okay right there? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
Marvelous.
Yes, yes. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Ain't that the truth, especially when you're not touching anything.
I told you, Art asked me, I know Art thought I was fibbing to him. He said, Jeff, are you touching anything? He said, man, 1 minute you'll sound perfect, great audio. Next time I come in, he said, man, you're high-pitched. And Doug, my DEQ seems like the first program that I put in, it goes back to it every time you shut it off. So I just made all the programs the same one, you know what I mean?
What, the profiles?
Yeah, it seems like it would go down to the same profile every time you turn it off. It would come back on. It would go to a certain profile.
Well, when I was using it, I would just name it like 4K. And then I would adjust it, and then I would name it. I'd do in spot number 2, I'd do 3K, and then 6K, and when I would shut it down, and I would turn it back on, mine would always be on the profile that I shut it down in.
Yes, mine wouldn't. I would say that's what I have. I had a 4K and a 6K. Well, the 4K sounded better. The 6K, Art and them said it had too much highs. And then when I would get on, Art would say, Jeff, man, your highs are real high. And I'd go to look. It would be on the 6K, not the 4K. So I couldn't figure out how to delete them. So I just went down and overrid them. I only got 3, so I overrode them. It just made them all 3 the same, so it has their choice. So either one I go on now, it's all the same.
Yeah, it might be a firmware thing. I never update. I don't even know what firmware mine had. Maybe that's what I should try doing to it. Maybe I'll do the firmware upgrade and see if that snaps it back in line.
Yeah, but that's the only thing mine ever did, and since I fixed that, it's been good ever since. So, knock on wood.
Well, because it wasn't shutting off, right? So it was losing audio signal. It would be all of a sudden the DEQ would become a brick wall. So the piece of rack gear above it would get signal, and it would be sending signal out, but the DEQ wouldn't hear it. So I thought it was a cable. So I switched all the cables around, and I'm even using the cable right now that I thought was the problem to go from my mic into the audio interface, and there's no issue. So it's definitely the DEQ on my end.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. If mine goes bad, I'm getting rid of all of it except for my big bottom, and I'm buying me an X-Air. That's what I'm going to run.
Well, my X-Air has been off for about 2 weeks. I might be selling it. I don't know.
Can you go over and put a couple scratches and dents on it so I can get a better price?
Oh, man. They're going for more. You can't find them. I haven't looked in months. I know like 3 months ago, you still couldn't find them. And the XR18, which is the one you would want because it has the audio interface, the 16 and below does not have it. But the 18 has the audio interface. I believe it's $799 new. They were going for $1,200 used.
Yeah, I know, because I wanted to buy the XR when they first come out, and I couldn't find the small one. You could get them for like $3, $4 something. You still can't find them. The only one you can find is the 12 or the 18.
Let's see if they're even in stock. XR18 for sale. Let's see. Let's see if Sweetwater has them. Let's see. Nope. Notify me when in stock. 739. Now, if I go to Reverb, let's see how much they're going for used, if they're even on here. XR 18. Let's see. Okay, 1100, 1275. Yeah, it's freaking crazy. Here's one guy, 720 used mint. I bet he's in Belgium. That's the only time I see the stuff like regular price, and then I don't trust buying it from another country.
Oh, no, me neither. Yeah, in that case, I might just ditch everything and just run the microphone and in the radio perks, and that's it.
Well, with the Thetis software, you could get everything that the way we sound now, except the reverb. That's really it.
Yeah, because if I had to do over, because I was talking to Dwayne a while back, I said, I ought to just get Pro Tools again and just run it. But we didn't run it on 80 meters. We ran it on 11. I did. But, I liked it. It was set up. We had the interface, everything. But, yeah, like you said, if you bought that once, then you'd have it forever.
Yeah. Yeah, like all these plugins, I bought them 2 years ago. And here I am using them again. And they updated, and everything's good.
Yeah, so I could just use my Aphex Big Bottom for my mic amps, and then patch it through into everything else.
Correct. Yep, that's what you would do. Yeah, but as long as this, I don't know, there's no RF problem. It just, it's the same thing, whether it's a piece of analog gear or a plug-in. It's all about the tweak.
Oh, yeah, I know where there's a guy selling a Aphex Big Bottom, and one like Dwayne has.
How many channels does yours have in it? Mine has 2, and I'm only using one. So when I set the alarm up, I'm going to do the Xair and the Aphex together into the alarm.
Yeah, you're gonna run channel 1 for and then channel 2. Hi, Dwayne, go ahead. Dwayne said something a minute ago. I'm sorry. I was talking to my wife. Something about 30 over. Doug must have been putting it in there. Big signal.
Yeah, Doug was giving me earlier, he hit me with 30 over.
Good now, Dwayne. You just give me 30 over. Go ahead. I'll be right back. JB3 WBX.
Wow, 30 over. This thing must be working. You guys are all 20 over.
Yeah, you're back down now, but when you were talking to Jeff there, you hit the 30 over.
Wow. Well, at least the band's working. And Dwayne, yeah, that whatever we were hearing, I don't hear it anymore.
Thank goodness. I hate anything that happens to the audio can just drive you crazy.
Oh yeah. My wife knows when my audio's not good. She goes, "Why are you in a bad mood?" I go, "It's my audio."
Look at it. Yeah, best thing to do is blow it up big too. You'll see it right away.
Wait, what'd you say, Bill?
I was saying that's why I watch the Spectrum scope. If you blow it up, I pump mine up big when I'm watching somebody's audio, and you can almost tell what frequency that was working on them.
I'll tell you what, you ought to hear me now.
Hold on, I just messed with something. As I was trying to blow up my Spectrum. Hold on 1 second.
Oh no, Bill, he touched the wrong thing.
Hopefully it ain't the reset button.
No, we're good. We're good. I so I'm still. Are you guys running Protocol 2 or Protocol 1?
Protocol 1.
I'm running Protocol 1 also. I'm waiting for them to do something with Protocol 2 before I try it.
All right, so we're on the same radio then. You're on the newer ones?
Yes, I'm on the new one. I'm running version 2.9.0.6.
Yeah, that's what I'm running. And I'm running Protocol 1. I tried all versions of Protocol 2, A, B, C, and D. And this was when they first released them, probably over the summer. And I got C to transmit and receive, but pure signal wouldn't work. And I was speaking to Dave up in Boston, N1DRS. I think it was him. Him or one of his friends the other night, and they said C was updated again about a month ago, and no one's having a problem with it. So I'm going to try it again.
And where are you finding that out on the net? Not the information, but to find that version.
Well, originally I found it on the community page. There was a link. I believe it was a GitHub link. So I'm sure if you go back to that thread, all the updates are there. That's where I would go, the Apache Labs community page.
Are you running Windows 10, Doug?
No, 11.
See, I don't want to mess with it. I'm still running Windows 10.
Yeah, when I I built this PC for gaming, and then I ended up using it for amateur radio, and I stopped gaming. And then I was using the Sun, but I was using a Mac. And when I knew the Apache was coming, I had to get this thing. I formatted everything, and it's pretty much just Thetis, audio software, a logger, and OBS. That's it.
Yeah, I don't want to touch mine. Mine's still working good. You get it figured out, Doug, and then I'll try.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I don't even remember how to update the firmware. I'd have to read the instructions again.
No, you're sounding good now, Dwayne. Sound really good. Really nice, clear, good bottom.
Yeah, it's just strange how that happened.
Yeah, I know. It did it to me before, and I have no idea.
Yes, I wonder if sometimes it's propagation, because, even when I've read up a lot about this, right? Like I listen on a Kiwi SDR. Let's say I'm listening in North Carolina. Well, what I'm hearing in North Carolina, and I'm like closing my eyes and I'm listening at the low end and the mid section and the high end, the characteristics of that audio might sound different in Pennsylvania than it does in North Carolina because of what happens to the waveform when it's being refracted.
Yeah,
correct.
I'll tell you another thing. When you get phasing,
yes, very much
too,
a lot different
from point A to point B to point C. So that'll have a different effect on how you're sounding also.
W3DP.
KB2 UKA.
KB3WBX.
But you know what's funny? When I first got in there, it didn't do it, because you guys said it was great, and it all came out of nowhere.
I'll tell you what, right when I was getting ready to leave, I had to do something, and you transmitted. I heard it then. But when I come back, you guys must have heard it also.
But thank God it's gone.
It's clean now. I'm not hearing anything on it.
No, it sounds very good. And go back and listen to the YouTube. Go to 20 minutes, like I said. Timestamp right now is 49 minutes, 43 seconds. But if you go to 20 minutes, that should be when it started.
Hey, Doug, now do you post those, do they go live right away, or do you have to wait and then post it?
No, well, it's live right now, but as soon as I click stop streaming, it's still there. It's just not live anymore. But depending on what version, if you're using the YouTube app or if you're going in on the PC, uh, sometimes you have to click the live button because that'll show all the live videos, which 99% of mine are live videos. But I also have a few that were uploads. So there's an upload button and a live button. But yes, it's there right away.
Yeah. Well, Ben's not bad either, so I don't have a whole bunch of noise. I get a static crash every once in a while, but nothing major.
Yeah, I'm getting it right now. I've been getting them for the last 2 days, and there's no storms. So I'm thinking it's all atmospheric from the sun activity.
Yeah, I had an antenna problem this morning. I got ice must have went down into where the connection was at, and I didn't realize it. And I looked at my scope and I seen this spike, and I said, "Oh, that's not good." And then I went over and I checked my SWRs. They checked good, but then when I'd hold it down when I'm tuning, it would start climbing on its own. So it was either getting some kind of coming back on the ground shield or something. But it seems okay right now.
Did you do anything, or it just warmed up?
Well, I took the connections apart, cleaned everything, sprayed them with contact cleaner, took a brush to everything, and then dried it all back off and put it all back together.
All right. Well, yeah. And that spike went away.
Yeah, I don't see it anymore on the scope, and then I check my SWRs and they're holding steady. They're not climbing or nothing like that. So I think it's fixed. Hopefully.
I know you give me a way better signal now than what you used to.
Yeah, it's been going bad for a while because I'd watch the scope and I'd see a little bit like a little like a line went through to what shouldn't have been there, but it would disappear right away. So I figured it was just my relays of my amp kicking, but it wasn't that. It was probably that starting to go bad or something.
Yeah, because you used to give me 10, 15 over all the time. And since you fixed that, you give me 40 on 40 this morning. I mean, a 20. And now you're giving me over a 20 on 80. And most of the time before, you give me 10 to 15 over. So, I mean, I'm telling you, it definitely did help.
Well, you clean the connections. It's like a car. When you get your car cleaned, it drives faster.
Yeah, it sounds better too. You don't hear all them bumps and rattles.
I need to go over there and rub my 500Zs. Maybe they'll put out more.
All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be on in the morning. Good to speak with all of you. And everyone sounded marvelous. So 73, I'll listen out.
All right, Doug, 73, take care. It was good talking to you. Always a good time. 73 stuff.
No, it sounds superb. Yeah, you always have pretty decent audio, Doug, but you've got it going on now with the DAW and stuff, so I'd leave it go. All right, buddy, we'll catch you in the morning. Have a good one. Kilo 1, Whiskey India.
All right, Doug, take care. 73s to you. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Always a pleasure talking to you. W3 DDP.
All right, gentlemen, 73, KB2 UKA clear.